Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining in to the June training newsletter. I'm Jessica Liao, and I'm the training manager for our Americas region. And this month's Tips and Tricks series is going to focus on Excel for ADW, which is the Excel add-in for ARGUS Enterprise. And today, what we're going to really focus on is we're going to see how to pull raw data out of ARGUS Enterprise using Excel for ADW and really see the benefits of having that data in Excel and some of the reports and dashboards really that we can create from that data. So let's go ahead, let's get started. I'm going to get started in ARGUS Enterprise. And once I'm in ARGUS Enterprise, I just wanted everybody to see that I'm in my training newsletter portfolio, and we have a series of properties within that portfolio. And so what we're going to be doing today is we're actually going to pull data from each one of these properties using the Excel add-in. So I'm actually going to get right on into Excel. And in order to use the Excel for ADW feature, you actually have an ARGUS AE tab up at the top of your Excel sheet. So you can actually see my ARGUS AE tab at the top of my screen. Below that, you have a toolbar. And in that toolbar, you have the ability to create input sheets or create result sheets. Okay, so you have two options here. And that's really what you can do with Excel for ADW. You can create input sheets and get input data, or you can get results data. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create result sheets using Excel for ADW. So when I create the result sheets, you can see that I can either load preset saved sheets or I can add new ones. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit add new. And the results that we're going to focus on today are going to be our property asset results. So I'll select those, hit next, and then I want to fill these sheets with ARGUS Enterprise data. That is already selected for us. So I'm going to go ahead and hit finish. Now, once I hit finish, the Excel for ADW wizard is going to go ahead and pop up with our next option, okay, our next window. And that's going to be us really picking and choosing the data that we want to pull in. So I have my sheet selected, my property asset results. When I hit next, you have the ability to go and load presets. We don't have any presets currently, so I'll hit next again. And I'm going to just choose my training newsletter, portfolio, and every single one of the properties within that portfolio. I'll hit next. I don't have any preset data, so I'll go ahead and hit next again. And then I have the ability to pick and choose what data I want to pull in. So I have capital expenses, my cash flow, debt and finance. I have revenue, operating expenses, all of those pieces of data that I can choose to pull in. Once I have that selected, I'll hit next again. You have the ability to set your time and your interval. So I can choose January of 2020. I can pull in 10 years worth of data, and my report interval can be yearly. Once I do that, the last step is really you choosing if you want to just pull in forecast data, budget and forecast, or actual budget and forecast. After you've made that decision, you can hit finish. And as soon as you hit finish, your screen would look a lot like my screen, where I have all of those pieces of data pulled into Excel. It lets me know the account number. So for instance, my first line is absorption and turnover rent, the account number associated to that line item, the property that it's coming from, and the property external ID. All of that information is here. And if I scroll over to the right, I can actually see the raw data that we have pulled into Excel for ADW. Now, the great thing about having this raw data here is that I have the ability to go right on into, I'm going to just move on over to my dashboard. I have the ability to create a presentation cash flow, which is a consolidated cash flow over every single one of those properties. I have the ability to go in and create this and have it in the order that I need it in the presentation format that I have, that I need it in. I have the ability to create that. I can create different charts, as we can see up above, and in my dashboard, so I'm just going to scroll all the way up, you can see that every single item is really linked to that sheet, our property asset result sheet. Okay. Everything is going to be linked to that. in one moment. Let me just move on over. There we go. Everything's going to be linked to that property asset result sheet. So I can see that right here. So what that means is that after I update all of these properties, I can go right back in using Excel for ADW, pull that updated data, and our dashboard is going to update accordingly. So those are our tips and tricks for our June newsletter. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you are interested in training, we do have training over Excel for ADW where we can teach you to build this dashboard yourself. Thank you so much.